Okay, guys, at home, I need you to have your writing and solving equation notes, but we're going to start with something that's not on your notes, okay? So we're going to talk about consecutive numbers. So if I say 2, what comes after 2? And then what comes after 3? Okay, so those are consecutive integers. If I give this n, I give this as a letter n, okay? So that's n. What did I do to n to get to 3? I did plus 1. What did I do to n to get 4?
Plus 2.
Okay. Good. Now let's think of another set. Someone give me another number. I don't care. 23. Okay. 23, 24, 25. Those are consecutive integers. They go in order. Okay, so we're going to call 23 n again. What did I do to 23 to get 24?
Plus 1.
Plus 1. So I did n plus 1. So I'm always going to put that n plus 1. What did I do to n to get 25? Plus 2. That's how consecutive integers always work. Isn't that nice? Okay? So if it says consecutive integers, that's how you set it up. n plus 1, n plus 2. If it's 3 of them, that's how you set it up. If it's 2 of them, you only need the first half. Now, what happens if we have even numbers? Let's say I do 10, 12, 14, right? 10, 12, 14. What am I going to call 10? N. What did I do to n to get 12?
Plus 2.
So I did n plus 2. What did I do to 14? I'm sorry, what did I do to n to get to 14? Plus 4. Let's do another even number. Let's do 24, 26, 28. Because I always want to show you that it's never going to change. So what am I going to call 24?
10.
N.
Let's see.
Oh, thank you. What are we going to do to 26? What are we going to do to n to get 26?
Plus 2.
Plus 2. 28? Plus 4. Okay, so let's say we're going to call these consecutive integers. Just normal, okay? What are these?
Consecutive even integers.
Consecutive even integers. Okay, now we got one more type. 5, 7, 9. What are those numbers? Odd. What do you think I'm going to give 5? I'm going to give 5. The very first integer always goes with n. What's the second one?
N plus 1. Or 3. 2.
N plus 2, because 5 plus 2 gives me 7. What plus n gives me 9? And it doesn't matter. They're always going to be the same. So notice even if it says even or odd, we're going to set it up the same. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go to do number 8 on our notes. Okay? So if you don't have notes, go ahead and write down that first example, that first one. If you have them printed out, good for you. Okay, it says find 3 consecutive integers whose sum is 96. So, are we going to do n? Well, we're going to do n, but they're consecutive. They're not even, so we're going to do plus 2 or plus 1. We have 3 consecutive integers, so we have n plus n plus 1 plus n plus 2. Because it said it was just just consecutive integers. and it equals 96. Because it said consecutive integers, we're just going to set it up like that. So if you don't have these notes, that's okay. You guys can write this down on a piece of paper. Okay, now let's combine like terms. How many n's do I have?
3.
So I have 3 n's. And then what is 1 plus 2?
3.
And now what are we going to do? Yep, we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. I get 3n equals 93. Oh, and you can't see that because I made it too big. There we go. So I combine like terms, 1, 2, 3 n's. 1 plus 2 is 3. I subtracted 3 from both sides because it's like a two-step equation. 96 minus 3 is 93. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to divide by 3. And I get n equals 31. But what does it say? It says find 3 consecutive integers. So there's my first one. My second one is going to be 32. And then my last one is going to be 33. And you do it the same way. Now, unless they say even or odd. If they say even or odd, then we'll do it a little bit different. Okay. Okay. Now it says what? Find how many?
Consecutive
Odd. Okay, so that means when we did this, right? Consecutive odds are n and n plus 2 and n plus 4. But we only need 2, so we're only going to need the n and the n plus 2. So we're going to do n plus 2 equals what?
176.
So the biggest problem about the consecutive integers is remembering, do I add 1 or do I add 2? If it's just consecutive, it's only the 1 and then the 2. Okay, this is odd, so we want to make sure that they're both odd. You guys, that means that they should be odd. It means they should end in a 1, a 3, a 5, a 7, or a 9. Okay, so what is n plus n? 2n plus 2 equals... Okay, now what am I going to do? Subtract 2. Remember what I said. Your answer should be an odd number. That means your answer should end in a 1, a 3, a 5, a 7, or a 9. If it doesn't, then you know you did it wrong. That's the nice thing about these. So when you divide by 2, what do you get? Yes. All of a sudden in my head, I'm like, no, that's going to be an even number. But it is 87. So then my odd number would be n plus 2. So what would my next odd integer be?
89.
89. So our answer is 87 and 89. We only needed 2 because it said 2. You guys, we could keep going, but it just said we needed 2 of them. Okay, last question. And you guys, we're almost done for the day, literally. Now it says, find 3 consecutive integers whose sum is negative 93. It does not matter that it's negative 93. How do we set up our consecutives?
N plus 2 plus n plus 4.
N. Consecutive, there's no even or odd, so 1. Yes. You do the n plus 2 and the n plus 4 when it says even or odd. Because this doesn't have the word even or odd, we go n plus 1, n plus 2. Now we're going to combine our n's, which we get 3n plus 3 equals negative 93. If you look at example 8, you guys, it looks very similar to number 10, except for the answer. Okay, now what do I do? Subtract 3. You guys, the only difference between this example and number 8 is our answer is going to be negative. Divide by 3 and equals what? 32. We're almost done. N plus 1, n plus 2.
Negative 34, negative 36.
Negative 31.
Negative 31, because negative 32 plus 1 is negative 31. Negative 32 plus 2 is negative 30. So do you see with consecutive integers, they're going to go down. So these are your answers. And with that, back up!